Hey there guys, it's Zadix Squared here. So Bungie just dropped a new Destiny 2 Lightfall trailer showing off Strand. There's nothing too specific in it, but I just wanted to go through the video and see what I could find out from it. You know, see if there's anything that might have been hidden in there. So let's get started. Muting the video, I'm slowing it down just so we can see it a little bit more briefly. So just starting off, this is the Warlock, and from what it looks like, that's the Titan, and then that's still the Warlock there. That's the Hunter. So the Warlock seems to be able to consume, I'm assuming, their grenade, and then they can infuse their gun with Strand bullets, which, just looking back at that, you know, they consume it. You know, that looks like the grenade consuming animation that all the other subclasses for Warlock have, so I'm assuming that that means that that is, or at least that the Solar has, so I'm assuming that means that that's consuming their grenade. And then, you know, they shoot a blast that, you know, when they shoot a enemy and kill it, it sends out a blast of Strand, which, you know, pulls them up, as seems to be one of the main mechanics of Strand, is kind of grabbing enemies and pulling them into the air and trapping them there. And then that's, I'm assuming, their melee, but it could also be their super, but this is definitely their super here. And then they unleash the barrage of darts. They also have these little slivers here that get summoned out. This is showing off the Titan. When they cast their barricade, it looks like, I'm assuming it's one of their aspects, will send out that lash that we got to see shown off in the trailer last week, that will just pick up enemies and trap them in the air. And then I'm assuming that's their melee, but again, it could also be their super, where they just kind of, you know, dash to enemies and attack them. And then this is the Hunter. That seems to be their dive, which, you know, we've seen before, where they do their shatter dive equivalent, and it slams on the ground and pulls everything up. And then that, I'm assuming, is their melee. Yeah, that's the throwing knife, or the chain whip, as it is, that they throw out, and it hits between a bunch of enemies and then comes back to them. And then this is the grapple. And then this is them using their super, which is some sort of chain whip, and they're able to dash around and then throw it out as a long-range attack that causes these Strand explosions. So then, you know, briefly we get to see some of the Osiris Strand story stuff. And this is, I'm assuming, us either getting Strand or maybe unlocking more power, kind of how we did in Beyond Light with Stasis, when we went to the pyramid to unlock more stasis abilities. Maybe that's us getting more aspects or fragments or something, but it could also just be the introduction of Strand in the first place. So that seems to be a bola, like it's a throwing tool that I'm assuming the Hunter, just based off of all the class design, throws down, and it pulls some enemies up. And then they're shooting off a rocket there. And then, as you can briefly see here, this is the Warlock casting their Rift, but before they cast it, they have a bunch of little, you know, threads flying around them. So I'm assuming that these threads will be acquired in general gameplay, maybe by killing enemies, maybe by doing something else, and then when they cast their Rift, they're consumed, which you can kind of see here. They're consumed, and then that's what creates these little slivers that go out and attack all the enemies. So most likely, if you get a bunch of them together, make some sort of build that's able to make these a lot, and then you cast a Rift, you can make this massive wave of these slivers that'll just deal with all the adds for you. And then this is the Titan here throws out the orb. I'm forgetting what the name is, but they announced that they showed off that thread or something. I don't know. But they showed that off in the trailer last week as well. Quicksilver Storm's Catalyst is able to make these. And much like a Titan using Thunder Crash, the Hunter is able to tether to this with their grapple and fly up using that. So it looks like And then, yeah, they're running up and they're meleeing or finishing maybe. And then this is the hunter is able to throw out their melee, which is this little knife dart, and it chains between a bunch of the enemies and then returns to them. So I'm guessing that that is going to be kind of like how the Titan Solar Hammer works, where you throw it out and then you can go pick it up. I wouldn't be surprised if it has some sort of cooldown, but I also wouldn't be horribly surprised if there's some way to get that cooldown back. Maybe if it changed enough things, it automatically returns to you and you get it back immediately. But that'll be something to look out for. But yeah, I think, you know, just looking through the trailer, you've got, you know, the Warlock has this consume ability, which I'm sure is going to be an aspect where they consume their grenade here, and then that gives them the enhanced bullets. And then, you know, for Titan, they've got and then also for the Warlock, they have the like little slivers that they make with the rift, which I'm assuming is going to be a second aspect for them. For Titan, they have this barricade that they can throw out and make a lash to lash all the enemies. I'm assuming that's going to be one of their aspects. Though I don't think we see a second one there for Titan. That's the dive for hunters, which I'm sure is going to be one of their aspects, kind of like how Shatter Dive and the hunter's ambush are, or the trapper's ambush are. And then, you know, I think that's all we see for hunter there. Though we also see their knife, which is their melee later, and then I'm assuming this is going to be kind of like how the hunter has the explosive that they can throw out on solar. I'm assuming that's going to be another one of their aspects as well there, where they can throw out something and then trap a bunch of enemies. And then I think this here is going to be one of Titan's others, is they're going to somehow going to be able to get these to throw out much easier than the other classes. And then obviously you can grapple to those, and they also do a lot of damage to enemies, it seems. We keep seeing Titan in all the trailers using them. But yeah, so I think that's kind of what we're looking at for Strand. I think we're probably going to see a couple more, you know, at least one more aspect for all of the classes. There's also a possibility that we haven't seen 2 aspects for each of the classes yet. I think that that's what all of those are going to be. Though the Titan with the orb, we haven't seen exactly what that does. If that is one of their aspects, I think there will be an aspect that creates those, but there's, you know, obviously we don't know how that would happen. And then I think we've seen at least the Hunter and Warlock melees. There's a possibility we've seen the Titan melee with the dash, but that's also possible that that's just the super. But we'll see as we go forward. I wouldn't be surprised if Bungie talks a little bit more about the specifics of Strand at the TWAB on Thursday. And if they do, I'll definitely be talking about that as well. But anyways, guys, I've been Zadik Squared. Thanks for watching.